coming to you from deep beneath the murky waters that lie beyond the Lake Erie shoreline. This is the Cleveland Podcast! With Fred the Mud Monster and South Bay Caesar. Find us online at facebook.com/The Cleveland Podcast or email us at theclevelandpodcast@gmail.com. Now, join us as we journey through Northeast Ohio and the city of Cleveland.
Hey, Fred!
What's going on, Caesar?
Hey.
You like salad?
Oh, I love it.
There we go. It's about Stockholm Syndrome and holding him inside my basement for the past couple of weeks, and now all of a sudden he loves salad?
You know, when I was little, I loved pizza.
That's right. I'm turning onto the path of the mud monster diet.
When I was little, Caesar?
Yeah, when you were little, Caesar.
I loved pizza.
Oh, God, stop. Wait, did you like a girl named Margarita?
Yeah.
Oh, are you serious?
I don't know what that's a reference to.
Margarita pizza. That's like the traditional cheese.
Oh.
It's like it was named after, I think, Queen Margaret. Of course, I will correct myself later on, so I would make sure that I did not make the same mistake twice.
I'd be disappointed if I ordered a margarita and it was pizza. I want an actual margarita.
Oh, boo-hoo. Too bad. The pizza's better. But the drink is nice. Anyway, we have another guest.
Woohoo!
Mr. Kiep Nguyen, or Daniel in the English.
Wait, how do you say that last name?
Nguyen.
Oh, no. It's a wrong pronunciation, so I would prefer you stay with N. Call me Daniel N.
Daniel N? Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Did he pronounce it correctly?
No, absolutely not.
Can you say it?
Nguyen? Now it's correct.
Nguyen.
It's just too hard to pronounce in English, so...
Okay, that's fair. All right, let's go with Daniel N.
Yep. That sounds like a good plan.
Daniel, very common last name in Vietnamese. That starts with the letter N.
The reason I want to know is I know a lot of people who have the same last name, and I want to know how to pronounce it.
Yeah.
It can't be done.
Yes.
There's no translation that makes it easy for
I
English
cannot
speakers.
do it myself, so...
Oh, there we go. All right, so Mr. Daniel is a former organizer at the Breakfast CSP, which is a local business in Vietnam, I do believe.
It was not a local business.
Oh.
So that was actually like an orientation stuff we do here in Case.
Oh, really?
So you know, in Case we have like the OL and someone the board who managed the OL, right?
Oh, yeah?
So I served at the same function on the board when I was in high school.
Oh,
so like orientation for newcomer.
For newcomers to high school. Okay.
Yeah.
But he studies at Case Western Reserve University, majoring in what?
In finance.
Finance. So that means if you want to know about the future of money and where it's going to go, talk to him. He is from Hanoi, Vietnam, which is the capital. For those who might know it better, it's also the place where Ho Chi Minh lived and lies currently in a tomb. That's very fancy. But he's been here now for what year are you now?
I'm senior by now, so it's 3.5 years.
Okay, 3.5 years. So this is his second to last semester as an undergrad. But we're glad to have you now here, Daniel.
I'm also glad to be on the podcast.
Oh, there we go.
First time I do something like this.
Oh, really? Well, there we go.
I never been like on any like radio stuff before, so.
Oh yeah, well we're fancy.
Yeah,
somewhat.
fancy.
What happens when you graduate?
So I have a job offer in Cleveland already. So that's the option one. I might do a PhD. So it's between these two options. I'm not sure yet.
Right. Well,
I prefer a PhD a little bit more.
Oh, sure. Then just do it here.
So Case doesn't have like a program in finance PhD.
Oh, really? Only masters?
Yeah, only master. They do master.
See, the more you know. I didn't even know that, and I went here. Anyway, we have to talk about something that's a little bit broader in scale beyond Case.
Yep.
As many Case students can sometimes have difficulties getting outside of campus sometimes. And that's not, and it's because it's a new city and people are adjusting. I get it. But at the same time, it is rather funny.
How do you get around, Daniel?
How do I get around city?
Yeah.
So normally I just Uber everywhere I want to go. It's an expensive option, but I don't want to wait in the bus. It's kind of tiring to me. So.
Yeah, it can be tough.
The bus is tricky.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes it will take 4 hours just to get you from here to Walmart down Warrensville Heights, and you're just going, why did I do this? I just wanted to buy a box of cookies.
Is that the closest place to go shopping around here?
Well, for Walmart, so it's relatively cheaper.
Yeah.
In a sense. But there's plenty of other places too. Like Constantino's is right across the street. I just wanted to go to Walmart because it was cheaper.
Right.
And I needed to get some work gloves. So,
well, there are sometimes you just need to go to the superstore.
Daniel, we've done this for all of our guests. Well, a good number of our guests so far.
Okay.
We have this article that is the 100 things to do in Cleveland, but pretty much before you go. And this list is done by the Cleveland Scene, and we've done, I think, 1 through 30. Is that right, Caesar? For the list, I think we've done 1 through 30.
That's correct.
So this time around, because you are pretty much one of the first people on this podcast in terms of guests that is originally not from here, we're going to start with 1 through 10.
All right.
So we just want to see what do you think are the top 10 things to do in Cleveland, and then we'll talk about them, and then we'll see if you know them and see your reaction. If you can't think of 10, that's fine. Just think as many as you can.
So when I think about fun, it's first maybe some bars. Go get some drink, get relaxed, and that's one. Second thing to do, like eat some food, because like apparently there's a bunch of food around campus. So I think that's like my favorite 2 thing to do, like hanging out with friends. But like I can do that anywhere. It doesn't have to be Cleveland.
Do you have a favorite bar or a restaurant that you go to?
I pretty like the dive bar because it's cheap.
Oh, the dive bar on East. What is it? West?
On
West
downtown.
6? Downtown, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is pretty good, isn't it? Well, we're going to go through the top 10 anyway and see if you just know them.
Okay.
So the number one thing to do in Cleveland, according to the Cleveland Scene, is visit Lakeview Cemetery. That's near here.
Yep, I did go past it a few times. My friend live on the road, so. But like I never actually stepped inside the cemeteries to see what is there. But I look from the outside in.
I haven't either.
Oh, now I don't feel so bad.
I've not done it either, and I talk about it.
But we should. I think everybody probably should.
But like to be honest, I have a genuine question. Why is that a tourist attraction? It's like a place for dead people, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yes. I was thinking, Caesar, why don't we do a podcast in like one of the tombs? Live from Lakeview Cemetery. This is my house.
Coming to you live from Lakeview Cemetery. This is the Cleveland Podcast.
But the next week also smelling moldy ghosts.
Does he hang out on the east side too?
That's because I live here. Duh. Sorry, that's one of our one of our favorite guests that comes on. Daniel, you'll have to forgive him. He interjects and is often a very strange creature of very strange vocal projections.
I thought he lived on West 130th.
No.
He moved?
Yes.
That's why I haven't smelled him lately.
All right, so Lakeview Cemetery, the reason it's a big tourist destination is it's the final resting place of John D. Rockefeller, who was at one point the wealthiest man in the history of the world until Bezos took over. But supposedly there's another man who might be even wealthier than that. There's a Roman businessman, but his numbers vary wildly. Elliot Ness, who is that exactly? I think it's
Wasn't he an investigator? Let me look it up.
Yeah, as Caesar looks that up, Revolutionary War soldiers, those from the Revolutionary War, Ray Chapman, and more famous influential people than we have to name. Lakeview Cemetery is also, of course, home to the President Garfield Memorial. So this is the President Andrew Garfield. The view from the second floor balcony is one of the most majestic and underrated in the whole city. So that's why it's number one.
I see.
Number 2, catch a CMA City Stages show. Do you know what that is?
I have absolutely no idea what the
Cleveland
hell this
Museum
is.
of Art.
Oh, actually, I've been there like 3 times.
Oh, yeah?
I just don't know what you call it CMA.
Well, it's just abbreviated, but it's a special event held at the CMA. I do believe in a different location, but the Cleveland Museum of Art is the host.
Okay, according to Wikipedia, which is always 100% correct.
Always factual.
And I rely on it.
Don't mind all the Sharpie editing that's done on Wikipedia. Don't mind that.
Elliot Ness was an American prohibition agent famous for his efforts to bring down Al Capone and enforce prohibition in Chicago, Illinois.
Oh, wow. And then he got buried in Cleveland. Anyway, we got number 3, which is go to the Cuyahoga County Fair.
Nope.
You don't know about that one?
No, I don't know.
Pretty much every
this one is like something I straight up don't know about. So tell me something more about it.
So pretty much a county fair is like just a yearly event for for pretty much every county in America. You have like a big festivity that brings the county together, and you put in mostly in a central location or a good location, and then it's pretty much food, beer, you touch some animals, pet them, and then you have nice little rides you can go on.
I grew up a farm kid. My experience is completely different. You take cows and chickens to the fair, and you go to tractor pulls and demolition derbies.
Yeah, that's a little bit weird. At least where I'm from, my county, we just went down there, and then it was just animals, food, beer, and rides.
Have you ever been to a demolition derby?
I don't think so.
It's quite possibly the dumbest, most amazing fun you could ever have.
Okay, there we go. There we go.
It's two
approved
cars.
by Caesar.
It's just like they take a field and they water it down so it gets muddy, and then they have a bunch of cars just like slam into each other over and over again. Bam, bam, bam.
That would be a great spot for our Fred Monster right here, isn't it?
Oh yeah, that'd be fantastic. I have seen many demolition derbies on like videotape, and I used to love them, but now I kind of look at them like, oh, that's so dumb and so risky.
It's so redneck. I love it. I love it.
All right.
I'm a little bit redneck, though.
Number 4. Well, you are Caesar. You have a little bit of that extra. Yeah, the salad's a little bit raw, so that's why you're a little bit redneck.
So by this point, I think I haven't explored Cleveland so much, even though I feel like I've been here for my whole life.
Well, that's fair. I think it's kind of tricky when you trying to get into the rhythm of life and you have a job or school. It's tricky.
And I think that's kind of a theme of our guests so far, is that a lot of them, even if they've lived here their whole life, they haven't experienced some of these things that are on this list.
Yeah, it just shows you Cleveland's a very wide span city. Many things to do.
I think to change our position a bit, I think you can start with like 3 questions in a row so we can speed things up a little bit, because I bet I'm not going to finish like whatever like you mentioned.
All right, well,
it seems also new.
Since you love food so much, what do you think are the top 5 places to go in terms of eating for Cleveland?
The thing is harder because you say Cleveland, because most of the time I spend around the Case campus. So it's gonna be like biased a little bit toward the restaurant that are available to me. So I like Buffalo Wild Wing. I like Barrio. Do you know there's like two guy who opened Barrio, and then one guy left. The guy who left opened Condado, and I actually like it better than Barrio.
How do you spell it?
Condado.
Condado. Okay,
yeah.
Cool. So you check that out, and then what else? What else is pretty good?
The gyro place that we used to have here on campus.
Oh, Simply Greek.
Yeah,
Which
Simply
moved?
Greek.
Yeah,
awesome. Yeah, but they move away. And finally, like a shout out to Vietnamese restaurant in here. Like there's a bunch of them. So they are all in my top favorite restaurant. If I list them all, it's gonna be like 2 over 5 already. So I didn't do that.
No, you should. You should.
So
list them all.
You guys should check out the Minh Anh restaurant on Detroit Avenue.
What's it called?
Minh Anh, MINH.
Okay.
ANH. It's on Detroit Avenue.
Okay.
And another one called Phở Thắng. It's in the downtown area, so it's maybe easier to find.
Okay.
So yeah, that's my top 6 maybe. I cheat a little bit, but
right.
You guys can consider the Vietnamese restaurant one, because like
are there any other ones?
I'm from there. Yeah, another one like a Vietnamese restaurant.
Yeah.
There's a one in Coventry.
Okay.
I forgot the name. I think it's a Pho and Rice.
Okay.
Pho and rice.
Pho and rice.
Yeah, they have like a pretty good like noodle. That's yeah, I just like it. I don't know how to describe it.
Yeah.
That's why I don't know it. I'm probably not gonna spend anything like over $30 over a meal in here.
$30? Wow. I've done that a couple times.
It's the upper limit, right?
So, it's definitely upper limit.
Yeah, it's the upper limit.
I agree with you, Daniel. I don't like spending a lot of money on food.
Now I have a partner on the show.
You're right. I am no longer the main host anymore.
You're no longer the main host, Fred.
I think here's the problem for me, and somebody's told me this. It's like, wow, you make pretty good food at home. Why would you ever need to go to a restaurant? For me, the only reason to go to a restaurant is for the experience. So if I'm going somewhere, it better be like have a great environment. You know, I better be overlooking the lake or the ocean or there has to be something really special about it, because with food, I can make whatever I want to make at home, and I'm absolutely happy doing that.
I totally agree. I cook most of the time, so.
Yeah. And I don't mind Stouffer's. They're pretty good too.
Indeed, Stouffer's is the key to toppling these wonderful restaurants. We're going to take a break, and then we will proceed to the main content.
All right. We'll be back.
Hello, this is Fred, the Monmoster. Be sure to check out the episode notes for today's show. Go to the photo albums at facebook.com/the Cleveland Podcast and find the album with the same name as this episode. We'll be sharing photos as well as any additional information that might be relevant to each new show. That way, you'll have something visual to reference as you listen and follow along. If you enjoy the show, be sure to like us and share. See you on the interwebs.
These are still like salad.
I still love salad, and we are back.
Hey, Daniel,
What's up?
you like photography?
Depend on what you mean by photography.
No. Like photography.
Pictures of pho.
Photography.
Oh,
I did.
picture photo.
Yeah.
Yes. Good pun though. I didn't catch that. So it had to be a good punch because it messed with me, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. I guess you could say it's your fault. It's your fault. All right. Enough of the bad jokes. We're going to proceed to the main topic, which is unexpected inventions of Cleveland. Unexpected creations. Things that we think, really? Cleveland created this? As I did research on this, I learned that, holy cow, there are a ton of amazing inventions that come from this city. And a tons of firsts. So, Daniel, my goal today is to embarrass you. No, just kidding. My goal is to just inform and see what you know about some of these inventions. So, first things first, we're going to talk about, you like shopping malls, Daniel?
Not that much. Normally, I think I prefer shopping online. It's just way more convenient for me.
Sure.
Except for like trying out clothing and stuff. I don't think it makes sense for me to do that online.
I can't.
Yeah,
I cannot buy clothes online.
I agree. I just hate that.
I send them back. I'm so picky when I go to the store. You know, I think, oh, this is a great looking shirt, and then I look at it on me. I'm like, oh, I make this thing look ugly. You know, so I have to like. I can go into what do you call the dressing room?
Oh, yeah.
You go into the dressing room, and I take like 10 things in, and I come out with one.
Fair enough. Sure. So what else do you know about shopping malls, Daniel? What's usually in there?
What's usually in the shopping mall? In Vietnam or in here, in Cleveland?
Either.
I don't know. Clothing? Food?
Clothing, food.
Bath and Body Works.
Bath and Body Works?
Some ATM, some game store, some watch store, some order store. I don't know.
All right.
A bunch of store. That's what a supermarket is, the malls is, right?
Yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah.
But the reason I'm talking about this is that, guess where the first shopping mall ever was opened?
So, by the way you frame the question, I assume that it started in Cleveland.
Yes, that's right.
And based on my guess at the Beachwood Mall, it seemed like a big mall over here, right? So I would throw my bet it might be the first mall. Did you achieve your intention? Do I look like an idiot now?
No, but you actually are close. It's the Cleveland Arcade, which is on East 5th, East 4th. Would that be right, Caesar?
Is it on Euclid?
It is on Euclid, yeah.
It's close to East 6th.
Yeah. So the Cleveland Arcade, which opened in 1890. So shopping malls have been around since 1890. Yeah,
I didn't
right.
expect it to be so late.
Oh, really? You thought it'd be like the early,
I thought it was
1800s.
earlier. Yeah, I need to rephrase my word. I thought it would be earlier.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, I mean, I'm surprised too, but the Cleveland Arcade opened in 1890 is widely considered the first indoor shopping complex in America. Its beautiful Victorian architecture and iconic skylight is still standing today, but I heard it's not doing so well today, so in terms of the stores in there.
Shopping, but it's still a very beautiful place to visit.
Right. So
And
great
it's amazing that it still exists.
so great for photography, as Jacob Jabowski, one of our previous guests,
Right,
pointed
but you
out.
can't. You have to get a permit.
It's not
I
really
know.
great for like photography though.
Oh, you got
There's no
me
full
there.
restaurants.
Oh, okay. Now we're gonna move on to the next adventure because I have a whole bunch of these things.
Yep.
Because
Let's go
because
on.
why go into deep detail about one when we can cover so many others? Because my brain can't deal with deep content. Oh, I think I made too much. Anyway,
I don't know how to react to that.
I don't know either.
Okay, let's move on.
What do you like about superheroes, Daniel?
What do I like about superhero?
Yeah,
They have superpower that I don't have,
like what?
like being able to fly, being able to read other mind. But like I'm glad that I'm not in a superhero world. It seems like a brutal world to live in. You seem to be able to die anytime, especially if you're in New York. Like alien favorite spot, isn't it?
So New York, just note for those trying to move to New York, do not, because it is a danger zone for supervillains.
If you were a perverted superhero and you had X-ray vision, would you be able to see through clothes, or would you just see bones?
I think you'd be able to see bones.
That wouldn't be much fun, then, would it?
It's like, oh, darn it. no muscles, just the bone. Well, however, you can go and say, hey, not to be creepy, young lady, but you're at risk for osteoporosis. And she's gonna go, how do you know that? I looked at your body. Excuse you, good sir. This pervert. He's like, no. It's my superpower. And then he smacks him. He's like, oh, this is all falling apart.
Could you imagine a superhero on a first date? Place that.
I see the metal screw in your pelvic. What happened? Oh, I don't want to talk about that. Well, why is half your skull of metal? I don't know. Why you ask so many questions? I'm like, I don't know. I just want to know.
I wouldn't want X-ray vision now that I think about it.
It's not so good. But what do you know about Superman, Daniel?
I know that it's created in Cleveland.
That's right.
That's right. That's the first thing I noticed when I come here to Cleveland, because it's the biggest portal ever in the airport, I think.
Right.
It's just like right into my eye.
Do you know
When you get to the airport, there's a image of Superman or something?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they have like a poster of Superman. It's not like the poster, it's like a figure, like a big figure. And they say, do you know that Superman is created here in Cleveland?
So you can't miss that.
Yeah, you cannot miss that. Like, unless you like just straight up get to the door and get it to someone's car.
Yeah, indeed. But by the way, do you know how much the first Superman comic that ever came out, do you know how much that's worth?
How much it's worth, like the money?
Yeah.
I don't know. I have no idea.
Take a guess.
$1,000?
Higher.
$10,000?
Higher.
$100,000?
Higher.
$5 million.
Okay, lower.
$3 million.
Actually, yeah, 3.2.
Oh, a pretty good discussing game, isn't it? How many guesses is that? Like 5, say?
Yeah,
Six,
that's not
something?
bad.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's
So
not bad.
originally came out for 10 cents in 1938, which now is currently worth $3.2 million. Not because of inflation, but because of the value of the comic. So that's a really cool little story. But let's go into a little bit about Superman, one of the coolest things that has come out of Cleveland. So before there was a metropolis, there was Cleveland. When comic writer Jerry Siegel and artist Joe Shuster first came up with their iconic superhero creation in 1933, they were high school students at Cleveland's Glenville High School, which, by the way, is very close to here.
I see.
What's your source on this?
Oh, the source? Let's see. Trying to refine the source. I'll find the source. Don't worry.
All right.
Is your source going to be Wikipedia? I think that's like the
don't
only
think so.
trustable source in the internet, isn't it?
No, it's not. There's other reputable sources too. Like, look at JSTOR. That has all types of academic documents that you can go through. If Sharpie's been edited, if Sharpie's been added to the board, it must be true because the Sharpie's almighty and knows all.
We had an episode a couple of weeks ago that was skyscrapers of Cleveland. We got a little bit sidetracked, so we didn't talk about skyscrapers as much as I would have preferred. But the AT&T building in downtown Cleveland was rumored to be the inspiration for what's the building in Superman?
Oh, is that the
Daily Planet. The Daily Planet. And the Superman creators deny that that's true. But it kind of does look a little bit like it.
Just a little bit. Just a tiny bit. It just looks good. It has a nice, sleek figure.
Maybe he just didn't want to be sued for like copyright.
Right.
That's probably right.
That was the exact same thing that I was thinking.
All right. I'll eventually find the source, but the source is...
Speaking of being sued for copyright infringement.
Yeah, right. Oh, no. I'll get it. I'll eventually get it. But
we'll put it on the episode notes.
Yeah, right. Let's just do that.
you guys can just like open some Taylor Swift song in here, and it's gonna be automatically taken out.
I know. It's a little bit scary.
By the way, we always list our sources on our episode notes on our Facebook page, facebook.com/The Cleveland Podcast. If you go to the photo albums, we have episode notes for every episode that we do, and that's where you will find our sources.
That's right. So don't you dare say we did plagiarism, because we cite properly, even if we don't know what the sources are when we are doing the episode. Okay. I want to ask you ever hear about Tiger Woods?
Yes, I heard about him. I know that he's a professional athlete.
And what?
And that it stopped right there. Because it's like a golf player, isn't it?
Yes, golf. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. I heard he won a prize, a championship somewhere like a few years down, isn't it?
Yeah,
like a few years ago.
Yeah, he's won quite a few championships. Caesar, what do you know about Tiger Woods?
He got beat up by his wife with golf clubs.
Oh, come on.
Oh.
Wow, that's more recent.
That was a while ago now.
Yeah, 2009.
Is it?
10
years ago.
Yeah, it's about 10 years ago. Oh my goodness. I was a little mud monster then. Oh man. That's a little bit weird to think about.
Are still married?
Oh no, they're not.
Oh, okay.
They got divorced a long time
She's
ago.
very wealthy, though.
Yeah, that's right. But here's an interesting little thing. The modern golf ball was invented right here in Cleveland. And the game of golf, as we know it today, owes a lot to Cleveland. In 1898, a Clevelander, an avid golfer named Coburn Haskell, inadvertently came up with the rubber design of modern golf balls. Think of that next time when you go onto the grass and trying to hit the fairway. So a Cleveland inventor created what many golfers use today in terms of hitting golf balls. Isn't that kind of interesting?
Yeah. And now I'm curious, like, what does the golf ball look like before it's invented here in Cleveland? Because they played golf before, right?
Oh, they did. It's a fairly old-ish sport. Let me actually look it up. Let me get a good description of that.
You know, Tiger Woods had an affair with a Perkins waitress, right?
Oh, that's a perfect transition, isn't it?
It is.
Oh gosh, he had an affair.
Have you ever been to Perkins,
people.
Daniel?
What do you say?
Have you ever been to Perkins?
Perkins?
No.
Probably not.
You probably wouldn't be impressed with the waitress.
Come on, Caesar.
I don't know. There's pretty waitresses everywhere, I guess.
Oh, that's so naughty.
I'm a horrible person.
That you are. Your salad has gone rotten. Your salad is past the expiration date. It actually looks like a baseball.
And then he got beat up by golf clubs.
Oh man. But on that note, the golf ball used to look kind of like a baseball. Kind of looks like of a similar mold and size, so you can imagine it was a much harder ball to hit.
Yeah, I can't figure.
This is really good for distance and all that, and it's been pretty good for the game of golf. Next interesting little invention here.
Lots of dimples now.
A lot of little.
Did it have dimples before?
No, not from the looks of it. Yeah. The dimples look like they come from the. Actually, it looks like it's the most modern version that has the dimples. And so
The dimples come from Cleveland.
that's pretty cool, huh? So Daniel,
Yes.
you like lights?
What light mean? Like the sun?
No. Like these little light bulbs right above us.
Oh, like the
here at
light
Case
bulb
Western
also.
Reserve University.
Okay. What did you want to know about it?
Well, do you like them?
Do I like the light bulb? Yeah, sure.
Why do you like the light bulb?
Because I don't want to sit in the dark, like staring at my computer and destroying my eye, I guess.
I suppose. Well, what about street lights? Do you like street lights?
Street light? Yep.
Why do you like street lights?
I think any kind of like important invention and like it. I'm a light person. I'm a person like who belong to like a lot of light or something like that. If I'm in Game of Thrones, but like I'm in real life, so.
Do you belong to a light society?
Light society? Nope, not right now. I might try to like join one in the future, maybe, or I start one and start a co, and I can be the co-leader.
I suppose. Well, here's something interesting. The street light. The modern street, well, the street lights were invented right here in the city of Cleveland, done by a Charles F. Brush. Yes, Brush. In 1879, had this little generator that was good for arc lights, as they're called, which is why the street light looks like it's a little bit bent when you're looking at them. And when he's doing this, it was such a success that they put the lights out in public square. So the first city to have ever had light was here
That's amazing.
in the world.
Yeah,
That's incredible. So the first
definitely amazing.
illuminated streets were here in public square. So when you walk around, you'll say, this is the place where light was born. Well, artificial light.
I read like we were one of the coolest city by then. We invented the light, and people was like, go here, like, dude, you see the light about here? It's like the only town that have it. We gotta go there.
They use the exact dialect. Dude, we gotta go.
Yeah, we gotta go. We gotta see the light.
It'd be so lit, man.
Yeah. Oh.
You guys know who Randy Newman is?
No.
No.
He's I think he does songs for like Toy Story and just like a lot of cartoons and stuff like that. But he's got this very unique voice. I think he actually had like popular music a long time ago, but like nowadays he just does more soundtracks for Toy Story and cartoons and things like that. But one of the songs that he has that was not for a cartoon was about the city of Cleveland and how the Cuyahoga River burned. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that he sings about in that song is Cleveland, city of lights, city of magic or wonder or something like that. It's actually a very cool song. The reason I know about it, it's at the beginning of the movie Major League. So I think at one point Cleveland was thought of as this amazing magical city.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it was called the Forest City. I mean, there's all types of wonderful little things about it, which, by the way, we're not even close to done. But, of course, I can't cover them all today. But there's dozens of other really cool inventions that we're going to quickly cover. But here's an interesting little invention. I'm going to put that in air quotes because it's really a term. So, Daniel, you like rock music?
I do.
Why do you like rock music?
Alternative rock music, like Imagine Dragon, Linkin Park.
Okay.
Like these type of like.
Do you have any favorite classic rock bands?
Classic rock band? Like no, I'm not like a classic rock guy.
Yeah, right.
So
I'm
yeah.
not either. Well,
Right,
I am and I'm not. I like to move on with the times. I try not to get stuck in the past, but I do love like Pink Floyd and Nirvana.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of many classic bands. I'm starting to get more and more into them. But at the same time, I do have my foot in the present as well.
What am I talking about? I love classic rock now that I think about it.
Yeah, come on, Caesar, get up with the program.
I love Van Morrison and Pink Floyd and Led Zeppelin, and I don't listen to it like on a daily basis.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Right.
Dude, so is Evanescence like considered like a classic rock? Yeah, they're from like 2003. That's
definitely not classic rock.
Oh, okay, so what do you mean by classic rock?
That's like the...
I'm a little bit uneducated about that.
Like at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, you can find those things.
I see.
But I think, the classic era, historians kind of debate about this, but isn't it like the 50s up to the 70s is kind of the classic era?
Well, if you listen to classic rock radio stations, they're playing Nirvana.
Okay, so classic rock changes, but it seems like the golden age of rock, though, seems to be like the 50s and 70s from to most people.
Yeah.
that grew up in that time.
Right. I would say that too. Maybe slips into the 80s a little bit.
A little bit, but then you get hair metal and everyone goes, boo. Can you imagine just like having a like big hair and you got to constantly spray it just to go, I got to play this song, but my hair is too important. I don't get enough time to play this song because my hair decided to catch on fire.
That's Michael Jackson. That was in the 80s.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
Can that be considered like classic rock, like classic pop? Though?
Not Michael Jackson. He's not classic rock.
I'm not talking about classic rock, like classic pop. It's like something called classic pop because like apparently it's still like a.
I've never heard that term used.
Yeah,
but
I never heard that. I'm just curious.
Madonna and
yeah, I guess that would fit.
Yeah.
Jackson 5, Jackson 5 is really rhythm and blues, but yeah, I guess you could say Michael Jackson's classic pop. But what do you think about the term rock and roll? Where do you think that comes from?
My guess is like it might come from the action. Maybe rock and roll is like going like a little bit crazy, flow with the music a bit. Like rock and then you roll.
We'll take it very literally. Well, the term actually was coined in Cleveland. That's why the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is here. Is because the term itself came from a DJ, and I'm going to explain this then we'll of course include the source when we're all said and done. The roots of rock and roll are quite hard to definitively trace because there's a lot of stuff in bluegrass, grass. It's southern, but it's a little bit of New York. It's a mixture of everything. But one thing that's certain is that if it weren't for Cleveland, it wouldn't have a name. Alan Freed, a radio DJ for WJW Cleveland in the 1950s, was the first to promote this new music under the name rock and roll. It is due to his influence on the genre that when it came to find a city to host the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1986, Cleveland was the most obvious choice.
And if you go to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, you can see a little bit of I think there's a portion of a room dedicated to this guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there's even a plaque when you walk down, when you're walking to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. If you're walking down, what is that, East 9th?
Yeah.
When you go down East 9th, there's like one of those Ohio State plates of history. And you can look at it, and it talks about Alan Freed and the term of rock and roll and where it comes from. And it's just really this fascinating little thing that you think that's why Cleveland has this huge place for all these rock and roll artists. And one of the reasons that Cleveland still stays relevant in the national eye today. We have a couple other ones.
Okay.
Let's see. You like mints?
Mint, like the stuff, like the herb?
No, well, not
the mint.
the candy mint.
Oh, the candy mint.
Not the plant. The plant's too boring. We're talking about the candy.
Okay. In general, I like mint. Like
Okay.
candy mint, like actual mint. Like I like all of them.
Okay, very, very good, very good. What do you know about lifesavers?
Lifesaver. It's supposed to save your life, I suppose.
No, the candy.
No, I have zero idea about them.
Really? They're
Yeah.
sold everywhere.
Probably I ate them before, but I don't know the brand name.
Ah, maybe.
Because if you say it's probably someone buy it, and I'm gonna have buy it too.
Right. Well, here's something very interesting. Lifesaver, the candy mint company, it came from here. So Cleveland's the namesake for one of the biggest mint companies in the world. These uniquely shaped mints were created after a Cleveland confectioner named Clarence Crane, who used a minty candy he could use to sell in summer months. The iconic life preserver-inspired design came from his experiences watching ships come in and out of Lake Erie. So in other words, thanks to the crazy shipping of Lake Erie, we got the very world famous lifesavers that we know today, except Daniel doesn't know them. So
Yeah, except I don't know about them. I don't know if that gonna be a good or bad thing. Because if I don't know about the candy, I don't eat the candy, right?
right.
At least not frequently.
Right.
That might be good for me.
Might be.
Might be. We might not know.
All right. So then I'm going to go into one of the most interesting ones that we have on this list.
All right, I'm Jack. Tell me
right.
about it.
I'm going to ask Caesar first. Caesar, who are some of the most famous gangsters in American history? Just name a couple.
Who was that guy that I just talked about?
Al Capone?
Yeah.
Who else?
I'm not really a gangster guy.
I suppose. We're not in a gang, are we? Otherwise, we wouldn't be doing this podcast.
The
I've
only
seen some cat gangs recently.
Oh, stop.
Street cat gangs.
No. Oh,
We'll talk more about that.
That will make sense in another episode. Well, what do you know? What were some famous American gangsters, Daniel? Do you know any?
The only one that I know is the Al Capone and see they just steal that from me. So
Okay. Well,
No, I'm like,
there's a
I'm
couple of
good.
other ones like Babyface Nelson and John Dillinger, all from the Great Depression. Do you guys know what type of weapons they would use when they would commit robberies and crime?
Tommy guns.
Yes, the Tommy submachine gun, which was made, part of it was made here.
Part of it. Which part?
Well, almost all of it.
The Tommy?
Stop. Okay, so here's the whole story. So General John Thompson, who invented some other guns of Spanish-American war fame, thought of a lightweight machine gun that he could use for trench warfare because the machine guns back then were 70, 80, up to 100 pounds. So this is really heavy. So he's trying to find a lightweight gun that people can use to shoot in the trenches so they can mow down enemies. And so when he retires from the military, he then decides to create the Auto Ordnance Company in 1916 to produce this gun, which he kind of terms as like a trench broom, as he wants to call it. And this is courtesy of an article from Cleveland.com. And the manufacturing process was sent to Cleveland because the Warner and Swayze Company, which is one of the abandoned buildings we talked about in one of our previous episodes, they agreed to make the machine parts of the weapon. Additionally, the lead engineer for creating the gun collaborated with designer craftsman Oscar Payne, who owned a small machine shop on Euclid Avenue. The gun became known due to its usage by gangsters during the time of Great Depression because guess who's the only one who could afford those guns?
Gangsta.
Exactly. Because they would rob the banks, they get the money, and then they buy the Tommy submachine guns. The police were so heavily out-armed, that's how gangsters were able to kill FBI agents. Now, the notion of trying to kill an FBI agent is, well, impossible because they're well armed beyond anything conceivable and available to the public. But back then, for these criminals, they were actually ahead of the arms race with the police. It's insane.
That's crazy.
Yeah, the police couldn't even afford to buy the Tommy guns, but the gangsters could.
That's like something straight out of Gotham, but like we're Cleveland.
Exactly. This gun became obviously known for being used by gangsters, which then made it popular. And then in World War II, when the United States started to become involved, they wanted to get these mass produced. So over 2 million guns were made, and part of them were made, here. So that's really a fun fact. So all those weapons that were used to take down Nazis and enemies of the Allies some of them were made here.
So Tommy guns were used in warfare, actually.
Oh yes, they were very popular.
But they're known.
They're known more for gangsters,
right.
but because the reason is the Tommy gun lost its namesake in 1940 because then it was churned into like a military name. And then from there, the military, it was more used by the military, but the Tommy gun's name is synonymous with Al Capone and Dillinger and Babyface Nelson and all these like Depression era criminals. All right. We do have a couple of other things, one or two more things we're going to go through, if you're all right with that, Daniel.
I'm still here.
Fair enough. We also lock the door so you can't get out.
Oh, that's bad for me, isn't it?
It's very bad. Did I tell you the season are cannibals? We ate Jacob Chabowski, or part of him.
But he was a Polish boy.
All right. We don't like that. No, just kidding. Okay.
So Fred, listen here. So you are Fred and Cedar. You are two people, right? In Hannibal, there's only like one doctor, and I'm the doctor right here.
Oh. Clever.
Clever, isn't it?
Yes, indeed. Actually, that's a good transition because we're talking about some medical equipment that was invented here. Remember we talked about X-ray vision?
I do.
Well, what's the important part of X-ray vision? Why would we use it?
To see if something is messed up in our body.
Yeah. Have you ever had an X-ray done?
I did.
For what?
So I have a sinus infection when I was small. So I had to take it, recheck every year.
Oh, really?
So, that's last for like 3 or 4 years from third grade to 6th or 7th grade or something. But like, quite frequently, I think.
Interesting. Well, Cesar, have you had X-ray done to you?
I have recently.
Recently?
Yeah.
For what?
For my foot.
For your foot. Because his foot got ate by some gang of cats.
A mud monster.
You're right.
Not you.
Yeah, no, a different one. My rival, Timothy, the mud monster.
Timothy the mud monster.
We'll find you eventually, you dirty bastard. Dirty bastard. Anyway, X-rays, the process of X-rays was invented here. Believe it or not.
That's crazy too.
I know, right?
It seemed like a lot of crazy things are invented in here, and I'm surprised like no one talk about it.
Yeah, no one talks about it. It's insane.
Until today. This is like the first day I ever know this information. It's crazy.
It is crazy. Now, give me 1 second so I can get a little bit of additional.
Well, a lot of this is 100 years ago, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's a long time ago.
And I think 100 years ago, Cleveland was one of the major cities in the United States.
With the first lie, yeah, definitely, I believe that.
Right. When you think of Cleveland today, you think of Browns, Indians. You know, you don't really think of it as like this major metropolis. Yeah. But at the time, it was a huge part of American history that we don't really think of it that way today.
So this was made. So the X-ray machine. Apparently it was made in 1895 by a name that doesn't sound very Clevelandish, but believe it or not, so the person that kind of made this kind of really famous is Dayton C. Miller, and Miller was born in Strongsville, but he graduated from Baldwin University, the predecessor of Baldwin Wallace College, and then he enrolled in Princeton University, earned his doctorate in 1890. Then he became professor of mathematics and physics at the Case School of Applied Science in Cleveland, Ohio. He served as the chair of the physics department from 1895 to 1936. While a professor, Miller became known for his work with X-rays. Conrad von Röntgen and created the X-ray machine in 1895. Fascinated with this discovery, Miller developed his own X-ray machine and completed the first X-ray scan of an entire human body, his own, in 1896. And that's where it kind of got more popular.
Who's the source?
Oh, I actually have it right here. Ohio History Central. So shout out to them.
Woo-woo.
All right. Now, we have... Well, there's another really cool one if you want it.
Say it.
All right. You like to drive?
Back in Vietnam, yes. In here, no, because I don't have a license.
Fair enough. Well, what do you think about cars? What's one of the cool features about cars?
Cool feature about car?
Yeah.
It's run on the road.
It runs
That's
on the
the
road.
best feature. I just need to go from one place to each other. So
Aren't cars kind of relatively inexpensive?
inexpensive in here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite inexpensive compared to in my country.
What's the price difference?
It's like 3 times more expensive in Vietnam.
Oh, really? So
because of only like a taxation on import and stuff like that.
I
So
see.
if you buy like a car for like 10,000 here, it's probably gonna be 30,000 in Vietnam.
Wow, that's crazy.
Like that's it. I think that's like for almost every car. It's so expensive right there.
Does that discourage people from buying cars?
Definitely. Like the main vehicle of transportation is a scooter.
And
not-
let me
not
tell
car.
you, it's terrifying. I've been to Vietnam with them scooters. I felt like I was going to get killed.
Oh yeah,
They drive like maniacs.
That's
great.
like no white like in Vietnam. You just like gonna church yourself and blindly walk into it.
Oh, yeah. Sometimes the scooters just there's like 100 of them that just move around you and you feel like you're being surrounded. And I'm just like, oh my God, this is a little bit nerve wracking. So I've had a little bit of a fear of scooters ever since.
I used to have a Vietnamese girlfriend, and she would say people don't really obey the rules on the highway.
Yeah, no.
Like, there's no lanes?
No one
Yeah?
obey the law.
You just,
Absolutely no one.
like if there's a berm on the side, like it's not really meant to be a lane. They'll just drive.
yeah, like sometimes they do that. Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Just
But
sometimes.
why I'm talking about cars, though, the very first gas-powered car was manufactured by Ohio City resident John W. Lambert. I don't have the source at me right now, but we'll put it in at the end. This is becoming a running joke. We should just continue just to say, I don't have the source, but I'll have it at the end.
We'll have it in the episode notes on our Facebook page at facebook.com/The Cleveland Podcast. Also, while we're talking about that,
Yeah.
hey, we're in a lot of places now. We're like on Reddit, Facebook, and a lot of different places. Like
You guys are everywhere.
and
Over
we can
there,
be
isn't
found
it?
on Apple Podcasts and
iTunes, iHeartRadio. Speaking of iTunes, 2 people while I was down in DC subscribed and then gave us a 5-star rating. So that means we get more publicity.
That's good.
Congratulations.
Thank you. But we're going a little bit on a sidetrack here.
But we weren't in some of those places in the early days.
Yeah,
and
that's
we're
true.
expanding our
Yeah, right.
yeah.
We're becoming very bougie now.
So find us online. We're bougie.
bougie. Okay. On that note, cars, the very first gas-powered car was manufactured by Ohio City resident John W. Lambert, and the first car ever sold for anything was here. And actually, you can find a model of that car at the Ohio Western Reserve Historical Society.
It's still there.
Yeah.
Was it the Model A?
Yeah, it is. But it's kind of funny because the car was really terrible because you had to crank that thing and it would go like 2 miles per hour, and then you go stop, crank it, stop, crank it. It was very interesting. So credit cars, because of course Ford was the one who made the typical car that would become mass produced, and then it become very popular. But it's because of a Clevelander that we start to sell cars, and we have gas powered cars.
I just found this, and my source is ohiohistorycentral.org.
That's what I used before.
The world's first automobile accident occurred in Ohio City, which is here in Cleveland, in 1891. Throughout, most of the people in Cleveland were at the forefront of this technology. Yeah, I don't know. Anyways,
Well, the first car crash.
the first car crash was in Ohio City.
So probably the first instance of road rage also happened here in Cleveland, Ohio. You have someone going, "I do say, good sir, I will smack you with my glove. You incompetent twit." I'm sorry.
That's funny.
You're good at road rage.
I know.
For somebody.
I actually don't even have a permit, and I've mastered road rage so well. Anyway, we have this last one that I think you might be very interested in, coming right from here at Case Western Reserve University. So, Daniel, what do you think? What do you think about chromosomes?
Chromosome. Is that something like inside your body, like a gene and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Are you gonna tell me that like the first chromosome was discovered here in Cleveland?
No, chromosomes have existed in the human body since the beginning of time.
No. Like the first one who discovered that, like
No.
the thing inside your body.
Oh no, that was discovered before.
Okay.
No. But what else do you think about chromosomes? What do you know about them?
Like I know there's like chromosome X and Y's. Anyway, is that correct?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I think the way it works is if it's 2 X's for
Yeah, 2 X's for boy and XY is for girl, I think.
no, two X's for a woman.
It's the other way around.
Wait,
isn't it?
hold on.
Here's something very interesting. The first artificial chromosomes were invented here at Case Western Reserve University in 1997
What is some use for like some synthetic chromosome?
to study.
Okay.
Like why would you get chromosomes from a person or a dead body? It's kind of complicated and they decay. It's just very tough.
In humans, girls have 2 matching X chromosomes. Boys, however, have a Y chromosome and only one X chromosome.
I'm
Right.
totally wrong on that one. It seemed like some basic 8th grader would know that.
Correction, 9th grader.
9th grader, maybe. Maybe 8th grader in Vietnam.
Are you
Because we Asian.
Are you smarter than a 5th grader?
Oh, I definitely know that. The answer is no.
I'm not.
We just get dumber as we get older.
Definitely.
You definitely think you're smarter than a 5th grader?
No. I'm definitely not gonna be able to like win that game.
You're right.
Totally not.
Okay. So the reason that we have artificial chromosomes is for study because they last. It's just a good way to get more chromosomes, study how they interact with certain experiments because you have to keep getting human samples, which gets iffy. It gets all types of confusing legislation and people going, you shouldn't do that on humans. And you just go, well, fine, we'll just create something artificial. So it's led to numerous discoveries in the world of genealogy and human biology. So shout out to Case Western Reserve. Without you, we probably wouldn't have 23andMe.
That's where we find out where we're from.
Yeah.
Have you done it?
No, it's expensive. It's like $200. I mean,
is a lot.
I could do it, but why should I do it? You know, I think my history I already kind of know what my history is.
I feel like if I did 23andMe, they'd say you're white.
Wow, shocker. You are of the Caucasian variety. Mm-hmm. Not only are you of the Caucasian variety, you're of the Caucasian variety.
Yeah.
You're whiter than most whites.
Although my mom acted Italian at times. I guess that's still white, though.
Well, that's actually interesting. Well, actually, this is for another time. You know, the history of white people really changes a lot. Like in the history of race, there's so many the definitions of who falls into what group has changed so much. You'll be shocked to see just in like 100 years ago, who was where in what group. And of course, you know, race is just some socially constructed thing anyway. It's, you know, we're all just human beings. But, you know, it's just shocking when you see, oh man, like, you know, that used to belong to this, like, you know.
Right. I think I was listening to something earlier this week where an Italian moved here in the early 1900s and they weren't accepted as white.
Oh yeah. They put them, sometimes you'd put down something like brown or other in terms of race. And so that was the belief.
But once they started to become part of American society, then.
Well, they did that through marrying the WASPs. So Irish, English descent individuals, Scottish, and all of a sudden they get whiter and whiter in terms of skin tone, and they go, oh yeah, we're white.
And now we have wonderfully delicious pasta.
Oh, get out of here. The pasta originated from China. The Italians may have stolen it.
Really?
Yeah.
Give me your sauce on it, Fred.
Wikipedia.
Which is always true.
Which is always true.
That's right. It's
the only
always
true sauce.
It was from an article on the clevelandpodcast.com, which has not been confirmed.
Never will be.
Daniel, when you first moved to Cleveland, what was your first impression? Where did you move straight here from?
Yes,
from Vietnam?
I moved straight here from Vietnam.
Yeah,
and so it was my first time like travel internationally, and I wasn't with my parents, so it was like a little bit intimidating at first.
Yeah,
and my impression with the city is that I think it's nice. It looked nice.
Yeah,
but it was quite different from what I thought. Because like from the movie, I thought like everywhere is New York. It's gonna be like skyscraper everywhere, and then I come here and I think this look like Vietnam.
Yeah. It looks like Vietnam.
No. I mean like it's just like another city with like house and stuff.
Yeah, right.
It's not like a modern hub with like crazy skyscraper everywhere.
Right. There's just a few tall buildings downtown.
Just a few.
That doesn't count. That doesn't count.
Right.
Whether or not they're shaped like certain organs, we'll have to find out.
I think we found that out already.
I think we did.
In previous episodes.
Does that count an organ though?
Well, yes, it is an organ.
Okay.
Because it's... Oh, I don't even want to explain it.
Yeah. We'll probably edit that out too.
Do I need to watch a podcast? boosting the program view anyway, right?
That's a highly sensitive episode.
Oh, it is. But I think we could probably leave the organ part in. You probably could do it. This is one. Just one. I didn't even mention the word.
So it's probably pretty warm in Vietnam, right?
Yeah, it's harder.
Yeah. And when you got here, how did you acclimate to
the
being
chain?
cold? Yeah, being cold.
So I think it's
What month did you move here?
August.
So it was warm.
So it was the summer.
Yeah.
I think summertime in here is quite similar to Vietnam too.
Yeah.
It's always hot anywhere.
Yeah.
But like the winter was I think it's all okay. It's not too bad for me.
Yeah.
I think I wouldn't like behave that well if I moved to somewhere like Minneapolis because like they're just so cold. But like in here I think it's okay.
Yeah.
It's not that bad.
I feel like it's pretty cold here.
You should move to like California or something.
There's a lot of snow here. A lot of snow, a lot of cold. Did you have to buy an entire wardrobe?
Oh no, I just bring my stuff from Vietnam here.
You had winter coat there?
Yeah, I have winter coat there.
Okay.
It's still cold. So the in Vietnam, the actual temperature in winter is it like pretty high compared to here. but like you have like the moist in the humidity and some wind, and they're gonna like make you feel pretty cold.
Okay. Is the snow there?
No, some
Some places.
on mountain area it do snow.
Right.
But like the first thing I do when I first got here, so I throw my stuff into my room and get out downtown to eat some food. So
You went downtown.
I would say that like a combination of both, right? Like I get to know the city and I get to study here. So yep. That's like the best. The both work. Yeah.
That sounds all well and good. Daniel, thank you so much for being such a wonderful guest. Our first guest from technically another country, although we had someone else from another country on this podcast, but for a commercial. But you're our first non-American guest. So congratulations.
That's awesome.
Breaking the mold, man.
Yep. Thank you for having me here today.
So, of course, thank you to all of our fans. We've hit some really interesting milestones, and we're continuing to grow. And haven't we crossed already 250 total views in our podcast, Caesar?
I think so, yeah.
We might even getting close to 300. So, shout out to all of you guys. You're making it fun. In fact, before we leave, when I was down in DC for a little while, and then this weekend, and my best friend from Baltimore, he came down to eat dinner with me and my family, and he was talking about, yo, Fred, I've been plugging your podcast nonstop, and we had a couple of people from high school who I knew, and we decided to review the podcast together, and then here are a couple of here's an interesting, tasty quote. You know, you don't listen to Fred, you feel Fred. Fred is an experience.
Right.
It's like Fred is sitting right next to you, yelling in your ear.
We need to get people to comment on our Facebook pages. Like, we can include that in the episode.
Exactly. Well, it's all well and good. Thank you so much, Daniel. Caesar, let's call it an episode.
It was great having you.
Awesome. Thank both you guys.
Later!
Not to be creepy, young lady, but you're at risk for osteoporosis.